What up, my boy?
Dirty Bird, happy birthday, brother.
Appreciate you, my boy.
Hey, man, I actually enjoyed the shit out of this fight night. I don't know if you did, but this was a good one, dude.
Dude, it was a good one. It was a good one. Anyways, this is Over the Octagon podcast. This has been a hell of a start to our night because this is our take 3 on trying to get this thing recorded. I think we're good now. We should be all right. But Nasty, we're going to try to get through this fight night as quick as possible because we got a lot to talk about. We had a great fight great fight night that turned out better than I think a lot of people thought it would.
It definitely did, man. Even the prelims, you start with the legend, the ex-heavyweight champion, Andrei Arlovski, bro. Fang's in. It sucks to see him go out like this, but like seeing a little glimpse of what he used to do in the past, throwing that spinning back fist, I mean, that was just awesome to watch, in my opinion. I knew he was going to get knocked out. He lost his chin in 2009. I don't know what the fuck he's still doing. But
he's trying to he's 44, dude.
He's getting that money, dude.
That's all he wants at this point. I mean, if he can go out there and take it, which I mean, he definitely got knocked out, but he still tried. I mean, at this point in his career to even go out there at 44 is impressive in my book.
I mean, I got the hot take coming right now. Andrei Arlovski, PFL versus Francis.
Yeah, right. I don't know if that's a good idea at all. But the prelims were nice. I mean, we had a good knockout by Blackshear. You know, we had another name off TKO KO in the second round. Then Arlovski obviously got knocked out by Mays, which Mays, not that great of a fighter. He probably doesn't have much of a run out of him. He just kind of got that in and got that good punch and laid out a vet. But, you know, the main card didn't disappoint in my opinion. I think we had a couple of good fights on there. We started it out with one of my least favorite folks on the roster. I'm not a big fan of the Nurmagomedov, and he fought so dirty too at the end with the whole, standing up, trying to slap him at the end, trying to cause a ruckus. He embarrassed himself, to be honest. It's kind of an embarrassing because one, you're a cousin of one of the best fighters ever, and to be out there acting like an idiot like that. If I was Khabib and that was my cousin and he was on my team, you'd be off my team, bro.
I mean, yeah, they are butt buddies. I mean, cousins. So they're, you probably can't kick them off. But like, there's that stat we were talking about earlier about the combined record of all those guys, and there's like 5 losses. Well, like 4 out of 5 are his, and he's the runt of the family. And he fought, another guy who's the runt of a fighting family as well. I wouldn't say runt, but And I think the win was right. They called it right for sure.
Yeah.
But it's just another reason why I hate those guys over there, man. They're not good sports.
They're dirty fighters. Yeah, I'm not a big fan either. I really don't even like talking about them, to be honest, because out of all of them right now, you got the only one that's truly showing up, obviously, is Islam. And you got this guy who comes in there and acts like an ass. So he deserved to lose that fight, to be honest. But the second fight, I mean, my goodness, dude. Silva, she is a monster, bro.
She's going to be a freaking problem in this division, man. Like the way she controlled that whole entire thing. I think she's just levels stronger than anybody she's fought. The way she held her down and pinned her down and did exactly what she wanted. She's patient, dude. She sits there the whole time. Like that was dirty. She's winning all of her fights as submissions, dude. Yep. She's a tap out artist, man. And this is something the division needs. So I'm stoked for that.
3-0 in the UFC so far. 3 fights by submission via, first round. Second round was the one off of Dana White Contender Series, but she's on a 6-fight submission win streak, and 5 of those coming out of the first round. I want to say this. So if you follow the Overs Club, if you're a part of the Overs Club, if you listen to this podcast, then you know that in the Overs Club, I put my bets in every week, and my lock of the week was Silva submission. They had it at plus odds. How could you not take something like that? I mean, she's on a mission, dude, and she definitely showed out, and she cast us out, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, I can't wait to see what she does. She's fun to watch. Like, it's going to be exciting as a finish. Like, I want to see more of her for sure.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. And I want to see her get a good competition next. I want to see her fight someone real good, someone in that top 15, maybe even top 10. Give her a good fight. Let's really see what she's about, And Absolutely. Then the next fight on the card, you got Tim Elliott, Alta Moreno. shout out to Tim Elliott for going out there and even winning the fight, much less after all the shit that he's gone through in the past month. This guy's wife cheated on him with his best friend / training partner. I mean, what a scumbag.
That's the worst thing to go into a fight thinking of, man. He's sitting there trying to throw combinations, and he's thinking of his best friend's balls on his ex-wife's face,
I mean, it is wild. I mean, but I will say this. I mean, you don't see this often, but he controlled 11 minutes of the fight.
Yeah.
He had an 11-minute control time, which is very impressive to see. I mean, you see someone who controls 5 to 7 minutes, and you're like, man, that guy won the fight. This guy controlled 11 minutes of the fight, which is impressive. So shout out to him. He deserved the unanimous decision. And hopefully he can clear his brain and actually go out there fresh-minded. I know that's going to take a lot for him, but shout out to him for going out there and even attempting to fight after all he's went through and getting that unanimous decision. But the second bet on the card, Jim Miller, man.
Bring it back to one time, man. Bring
cannon hands, bro.
That was the dirtiest knockout he has ever done. It is Miller time.
He's not even really a knockout artist. He went many of his career without even getting a knockout.
Yeah, man, he's not known for that. And especially doing this, like while he was falling, he connected with another one just to add 4-piece, like get some chicken tenders.
Ever since he's been determined to get on UFC 300 and kind of do the three-peat, be on every 100, 200, 300. He's been on a mission, and the TKOs and KOs are coming for him. So I can't wait to see his next fight. I want to see who he gets. I want to see what the UFC can set up for him, and I want to see him go out with a bang,
Definitely. If he gets on 300, dude, that's just no one's ever done that. I don't think anybody's really active. I mean, besides like Arlovsky, who we just talked about, but I don't think there's any active fighters out there that are still competing at this level. Even if he gets the bottom of the prelims, go ahead, do it, dude. Sign up. That was cool. The fans love you, bro. The fans love you.
Oh yeah, you gotta love him, man, and you gotta respect the guy for even fighting as long as he has and still going out there putting on hell of a performance. So, shout out to Jim Miller, bro. And then the co-main Alex Careza or Carez or however the hell you say his last name. I'm so bad at that. And Pineda. This fight, Alex has had a tough career. In my opinion, he's had his ups, he's had his downs, and then some days he looks really good, and then some days he just doesn't look like the fighter that he should be. With his length and his size, he should be able to control the distance on any fight he's in. But he's vulnerable for getting knocked out. He's definitely gotten caught a few times, so I was surprised he pulled it out unanimously. But he outstruck him by double. He was able to defend 11 or 7 or 8 of the 11 takedown attempts that were put on him. So, I mean, to go out there and still be able to do it, I mean, much deserved to him. I don't know if he's going to be able to compete at a high level, top 10, but where he's at in his career, I think he's pretty fairly rated at his current moment.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's going to win if he does what he does and plays his game right. There's a lot of people who do it. The Diaz guys, they all do it. O'Malley, play your game. You're going to win the fight. Why he loses sometimes is he gets in his head and he tries to play not his game, dude. Yeah. And he tries to be a freaking crazy knockout artist, a takedown artist. Bro, do you. That's not you. And that's when you do that, you get caught right on the button, dude.
No, I agree with you. So we'll see how his career plays. I'd love to see what his next fight is, and we'll kind of go from there. And then we had the main event, Kara-France Albazi. Very controversial decision to a lot of people. I want to hear your side of things, your take on it. I'll add a little bit in there, but I think we have a little bit to discuss after we talk about this.
First off, I'm going to say these refs, get the fuck out. And second off, I'm going to say this, dude. There's a lot of things that could have been prevented from this happening. I get it. I 100% think Kara-France got robbed. I think everyone does. A majority of us do. There's certain rounds where there was up into the air, but Kara-France probably got that a little bit. If that's your gameplay, Kara-France, that's what you're going to do, then make sure you're doing it by a lot. If you're going to be tiptoeing the whole time, make sure by a significant amount. Because if you're putting it close, these judges aren't as smart as we think they are, obviously. And you can't leave stuff up to guess. Like the whole entire thing of distance and control, I think some of these refs don't know what control is. If you're diving in for a takedown and you're attempting it for like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and don't get it, That's not control, dude. That's called stalling in wrestling.
Yeah.
And if you do that and you're stalling the whole time, you don't got control. We're both not doing anything. And this is the shittiest part of the fight. And it's just, I don't know, man. I think Carl France did good with his defense too. He was throwing in that wizard the whole time. And I know for a fact he got robbed. Everyone knows he got robbed. He outstruck him every single round.
Yeah. I mean, let's bring it back to the last fight we were just talking about. Alex Caceres. He outstruck him by double. He only got one of 2 takedowns. And Pineda had three completed takedowns of 11, but he also had 4 minutes of control time as well. So now you look at the Cara France fight, and you can kind of see why Albazi kind of got that decision, because Alex, he won the fight because he probably had that 4 minutes of control time along with his double outstriking. Cara France only controlled less than a minute of the fight with 2 takedown attempts. Maybe if he had 3 to 4 minutes of control time, this might have swung the other way.
I definitely think that, man. And like I said, man, make it, if that's your game, make it better. But sure. I thought his strikes even looked good, Joel.
He did look good. He put on a really good fight, dude. And I still personally think that he has been a gatekeeper of this division for quite a long time. He's had his fights where he, yes, he could never beat Brandon Moreno. Then you have a guy like Ravel, who is in that top 5, who's wanting to get a title shot. And then you got a guy like Albazi, who just beat Cara France along with Ravel, but Albazi jumps Ravel in the rankings. You know what I'm saying? I don't personally agree with that. I think he should have been right underneath him. And then maybe Cara France 5, Albazi, Ravel, Pindoya, and then Moreno. But maybe we'll see Albazi Ravel next for number 1 contender after this fight, after the Moreno-Pintoya fight.
I don't see it at all, man. I don't even think he's a top 5 fighter in any aspect at all. Like if your game is taken to the ground, sub him and play bully ball, then do that. But you don't do that much.
I don't think he could beat Moreno.
What is he good? He's good out there just riding decisions, dude. He will never beat Moreno. He's not top 5. I know he was number 9, I think, before going in this.
Yeah.
He needs to go back there. This is a fluke, dude. This didn't it happened. Ask Cara France's wallet. It happened, but I mean,
he said he was it cost me my 3 ranking and $100,000.
Oh my
for
God.
bad judging.
I read that he was at an after party and Shaq was DJing, and he's like, God, that would be the coolest thing ever if I was celebrating a win. And
right. Now I will say this, man. Shout out to his barber, because he has the freshest barbershop fade I have seen going into a UFC fight from anybody.
You think so?
Man had the crispiest lineup, box fade all the way around. That man came right out the barbershop before he went into that fight. Because I said it, I tweeted it out. I said, man, we ain't gonna sit here and act like Cara France didn't have the greatest fade in the UFC history.
Dude, I think he looks like a baby, actually, man.
He does look like a baby. I mean, dude, these guys are small. They're 135 pounds.
I know,
130 pounds.
I even thought his fade was whack. I was like, who did this?
Oh, dude, he had that low military lineup, fresh out the barbershop, bro. I loved it.
Did you?
Yeah, just give him some diamond earrings, send him back to 2010, and this dude would be the coolest kid in school.
Hey, that's Paul Wall right there.
Oh, wow, baby. He did have the Paul Wall cut, I love that. But, man, he did get robbed, man. I hate that for Cara France, because he's been a gatekeeper of that top 5 for a long time. Hate to see him lose an upsetting decision like that. I don't think Albazi wins his next fight. So we'll have to see about that, man. But I want to talk a little bit about this before we jump into 289. Judging has been so bad, Nick. It's been really bad. And a lot of people are now, there's debates going on, should the UFC look at different aspects of judging? Should we go into fighters finding out who won the round after the round's over? Or do we go into more judges in fights? What do you think? What do you think could fix this?
Dude, honestly, I never thought of the way you just said it. Your first idea was immediately after a round. Is that what you're saying?
I was listening to a podcast about it, and these guys were talking about it. And it got me thinking, like, man, that would actually be a solid idea. Like, imagine if you were going into round 3 and you knew you were down 2 rounds. Like, yeah, you probably already know, but imagine if you were told, all right, you're down 2 rounds. If you lose this, you lose. Like, think about if Leon Edwards going into that Kamaru Usman fight, he was getting told, you're down 4 rounds. You've lost every round. If you don't knock him out, you lose. And he knew that. This could change, like, mentalities of fighters. Like, there's a lot of things that could change in that.
I mean, honestly, the Carl France fight, if that was there, I think we would have seen a different beast, you know?
That's true. Yeah.
And that's crazy. Like, we need it now, actually. And it's good because, you know, some of these, you don't know how corrupt the UFC is. It's not known for that being yet. But, like, what is the rule on you being able to put your scores of each round in? And can you go back, you know, third round and go change the score of round 1? Like, we don't know if you can do that or not. So you don't leave anything up for questioning there if it's done immediately right after on the spot. And the other side of it is it's going to make the game more entertaining. There's only pros about it. Like this, if you make it more entertaining, I'm down 2 rounds and I see it right in front of me. I'm just going to go in there and just go balls to the wall, Super Saiyan, dude, and just straight up swing for the fences.
Nah, I agree. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm curious to see how this is going to kind of play out in the long haul. But I think the UFC definitely needs to look into the judges. And I know Dana said in the past that it's all the commission that controls this kind of stuff, and they don't really have a say so. But I mean, I don't know, man. They got to fix something, because if they don't fix it, then we're going to end up running into more bad calls. We're going to end up more fighters losing their prize, you know, losing big fights because of bad judging. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. And luckily, you know, it's happened with some past fights lately. Like, it hasn't happened with any title fights, thank God. But it's like, I mean, you know, the whole Sean O'Malley, Peter Yan, like, that was huge. That was a huge contendering fight. That might have started the slump of Peter's career as well. Like, he's been on a downward spiral. And if that didn't happen, what would have happened? Because momentum is huge for these fighters, man. It really is.
No, I agree 100%, man. I agree. Anything else you want to add to the fight? And I know we're crunched, so I want to, you know, talk about 289 as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, let's jump into it, man. Jim Miller, it's always going to be Miller time. We're down.
Hey, it's Miller time, baby.
No way. We did not plan that.
It was not planned, but, you know, shout out to Miller Lite. No sponsor, but maybe one day. That'd be sick. But 289, man, we got a card that a lot of people has not been so fond that was created, because one, we get, you know, Amanda Nunes and Irene Aldana is going to headline this. The true people's fight is the co-main event. I think everyone knows this. Beneil Dariush, Charles Oliveira. That is the main event. That's
the main event, man. But you know, they couldn't have said that. It's all about quality, which I understand completely. But everyone cannot, dude. The people's champ was Charles Oliveira. You know, he.
You know, that's one of my favorite fighters. So
he's so dirty, man, and I know he's making that comeback, dude. I know he is, man. I'm here for it.
Well, we'll get into that, but first, I want to talk about a few of the fights on the card. I want to talk about the headlining prelim: Chris Curtis and Imavov. I personally think this is going to be a banger. I don't foresee this fight going the distance at all. Somebody's losing, and somebody's going to lose this fight fast, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. I like both fighters, but I think we actually covered Chris Curtis's last fight. He's been active this whole entire year.
I mean, we've covered Imavov as well. I mean, both of these guys have been pretty active recently. Chris Curtis stirs up a lot of drama on, you know, social media and things like that. You know, he's one of Sean Strickland's boys, so they kind of get things popping. He had a controversial last fight, Chris Curtis did, because of the headbutt. Remember the headbutt that ended up causing them to lose the round. And then you got a guy like Imavov who's coming in, and he's the favorite right now. And I could see why he's the favorite, but let's not forget Chris Curtis has that power behind his punches too. So all it's going to take is one catch by Curtis, and Imavov might be out. But then at the same time, you know, Imavov is able to, you know, he's able to get you down. He's able to, you know, he could potentially submit you or knock you out at the same time, you know, and he's got the height advantage. He's got the reach advantage. So there's there's certain aspects on both sides that could go either way. It's a pretty fairly even fight, in my opinion.
It is, and Imovov's, his last fight was against Sean Strickland.
Exactly.
So he's like, yo, I guess they're about to just both best friends about to go piece this kid up, man. I mean, they know his style already. They've been studying it, so I think it's pretty cool to watch. But I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I would love to. If Chris Curtis is able to beat him, Sean Strickland and Chris Curtis are going to go out and have a beer afterwards, and they're going to have a little fun on social media about this guy.
Didn't you see them at the bar together, man? Now that you think about both those guys,
that'd be a cool duo to hang out with, especially Sean Strickland. I personally am a big fan. A lot of people dislike him very much, but I like him, man. I like his shit talk. So, but then we got the main card. I mean, the main card is decent. It's not great, but like we said, we're going to talk about the other ones later. But we'll start it out in a middleweight fight: Bieralt and Eric Anders. Fairly even fight, in my opinion. Nothing too much to cover here. This one can kind of go either way. I could potentially see both of these guys either go into decision or someone just getting a crazy knockout. I don't think neither one of these guys are, impressive in my opinion, but that fight could go the distance or it could end, third round knockout. So we'll kind of see how that one plays out. But the next fight, I do like this next fight. Dan Ige, Nate Landwehr. I like this one a lot. I like Dan Ige. He's had a pretty impressive, he had a pretty impressive last fight with a knockout, but so did Nate. He's coming in. He had a submission in his last fight. He's on a 3-fight win streak. So he's kind of got a lot of things going for him. He's a fan favorite as well. A lot of people like this guy. So, but I do think Dan Ige, I think the odds are right. I do think Dan Ige is the better fighter. So we'll kind of see how this one plays out. If he's able to control, the ground game and not allow Nate to strike with him, I think he wins this fight pretty easily. Possible unanimous decision. But then again, the odds are minus 260 plus 210 in favor of Dan Ige. So we'll kind of see how that is. But if I was to put a little sprinkle, I would sprinkle, Nate as well, because you really just don't know in fights like these, because both of these guys are good. One's on a couple fight win streak and one's only, just coming off of one win. So we'll kind of see how this one plays out. I do have Dan Ige a little bit. I'll favor him a little bit more in this fight, but that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, man. I mean, they're both okay, man. I'm favoring the same in your direction, just because, there's more to his game. I think he's a little bit more entertaining. The other guy's a complete decision maker sometimes, but I mean, he is on three fight win streak, right?
Yeah, for sure. Now, I will say the next fight, I definitely don't see this fight going the distance.
Dog. That boy Mallet, bro.
Mike Mallett's gross, but Adam Fuga is just as good, bro.
No, really? I like Mallet all day. Let's beef, Joel.
I mean, I like Mike Mallet, but you got to think, dude, Adam Fuga has knockout power. He's got a 5-inch reach advantage. If he's able to control that distance at all, you never know. And he's able to take you down, get you to the ground. I mean, he averages 5 takedowns a fight, dude.
He's a beast, man. I think he's going to get caught.
I wouldn't disagree with you. I mean, Mike Mallett's coming in the UFC hot after his, 3 fights, 2 by submission, 1 by TKO KO. He had a hell of an impressive Dana White Contender Series fight, and then 2 great fights immediately into the UFC. So he's definitely on the hype train right now. If he pulls it out, he's a slight favorite, and he goes to that 10-1 record. Depending on how good he looks against Adam, I don't know. We might have a good contender here.
Yeah, man. I like him, dude. He's entertaining. The thing is matchups, right? We've talked about this in the past. It's all about matchups. Certain people can beat certain people who would lose to somebody else. With Mal, dude, the guy Fugit, his game is taking you down, getting takedowns, right? But homie's good on the ground.
Yeah, he has a good submission background too.
That's a scary game to play against a submission artist like that.
That's true.
So you want to play that game against that? I think the whole matchup thing. I think I'm really excited about this one, dude. I'm the pick I'm going to do for this is round 2 TKO.
Mike Mallet. I like that. Yeah. I like that. I definitely don't see this fight going the distance at all.
No, definitely not.
I don't at all. Both of these guys are very well versed. I think you're right. I don't see this going the distance. Second round sounds about right. So you're probably spot on. If I was to bet, I'd take that for sure. So, but this one's my favorite fight on the card. I think this is everyone's favorite fight on the card. The GOAT, Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush, who is also on a tremendous, rise in the rankings. And a lot of people are favoring Beneil Dariush here. But let's not forget who Charles Oliveira is. New Bronx is the man, bro.
Man, this year has been all about people questioning certain people if they can still rise to the occasion, and they still can. And I see nothing different with this fight. Exactly, man. Like, Dariush he's killing the shit right now, dude.
He is.
Do you think Dariush is on the same level of Charles?
No,
not at all. And I don't think Charles is out of his prime too much either, man. He had the same issue that every fucking fighter in the UFC did. They don't know what to do with these Russian guys. Their bully ball is just so intense. Nobody knows what to do. But guess what? You learn to adapt to it. Just like, Izzy, learn and adapt. Boom. I mean, dude, this is what's going to happen. This fight is going to be sick. This is the main event. You know it is.
Oh, 100%. I will say this. If this fight remotely gets to the ground at all, Dariush needs to be worried.
Oh, yeah. He has no business being on the ground with him at all. No business, bro.
Zero. I mean, he has an impressive resume right now. He's on a hell of a fight win streak. He's got, his last 2 fights, though, are via decision, which Charles Oliveira is not much of a decision guy. He's a finish you. He'll I don't know, man. I hate that people are kind of just taking this into an aspect that Charles Oliveira lost to Islam, so like how he did. But let's not forget, Charles did not look terrible in the first round against Islam. He just got caught in that second round and just didn't know what to do. And Islam he is strong. And like you said, he bullied him to the ground. But I don't think that's going to be the case with Dariush. If Dariush's best chance to win this fight is to keep it standing.
Keep it standing, but that's a dangerous game to play as well. So, I mean, I'm super excited for this. This is the comeback, dude. He's eyeing that belt. He wants his redemption. I want it to happen more than anything. I think Dariush is good, but I think everyone's going to get a quick reminder how good Charles Oliveira is.
I really, really hope so. Because, boy, if Charles wins, that's gonna. I'm gonna personally put a bet out there. This is gonna be one of my bets. You don't have to take it if you don't want to, but I'm going Charles via submission. I like a rear naked choke.
Yeah, man, I like that. I see it already happening.
I've been envisioning it in my head this whole time we've been talking about it. Just seeing him get Dariush's back, lock in that choke. Oh man, I could see him sealing the deal.
Joel, it's gonna happen during a scramble.
I think so.
It's going to be a scramble situation where they're both fighting for position. Someone gets thrown off, and Charles takes that back. You know it is.
Dude, because people need to understand. Charles Oliveira, his championship run, he beat Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, 3 guys who are serious problems. And now you get a guy like Beneil Dariush, who is up and coming, but has not fought the quality of fighters that Charles Oliveira has at all.
No, nowhere near. And that's been like the whole questioning about.
And his best recent fight is obviously against Gamrot, but he also beat Tony Ferguson. Yeah, but Tony Ferguson, you can't really count that because Tony Ferguson was roughly on the end of his career point at this point,
Tony's out. Man.
So I hate that people are underestimating or forgetting who Oliveira is, but I think they're going to get a quick reminder. But if I don't want to count out Beneil Dariush because he really is impressive. He is a really good fighter, and I don't even hate him as a fighter. If he wins, shout out to him. I want to see him go up and try to beat Islam. But if we get a rematch, Islam Charles, I don't think we're going to see the same outcome again.
No, you're going to see a more aggressive, looking for the finish, Charles, and that's going to be just insane to watch. He's so diverse, and sometimes you don't see all sides of him. But he can land some insane strikes. We've seen it happen. He's good with all 8 limbs.
Agree.
Dude, insane elbows. If there's no room, he'll make room. He'll swivel the punch. I want that rematch more than anything.
I as well. So I'm going to lock it in. I like Charles. That's my personal pick. If Dariush wins, though, I won't be mad. I will respect the win. I would love to see whoever wins this fight. I hope they can beat Islam but I want to see Oliveira get that second chance to get him and kind of go from there. So, and then we got the main event: Amanda Nunes, Aldana. This one, there's a lot of talk that Aldana's striking could be more impressive than a lot of people think there is. But let's not forget, Amanda Nunes is the baddest woman to step foot in the octagon ever.
She is, man, and there's no question about it either. There's like I wish there was a comparison so their division would be a little bit more exciting to watch, you know?
Yeah.
But there's not. She's the ultimate of ultimate. She reminds me of Letty from Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Kind of that. And yeah, man, but there's there's room for so much growth in this division. And both, I mean, she's double champ, right?
Yeah, she is double champ, but the other belt is kind of like useless because there's nobody in the division to fight her. So
yeah, that doesn't make sense to me either.
Yeah, well, they kind of ex-nayed that division, but I see this one going one or two ways. One, Amanda Nunes puts on an Amanda Nunes performance, outstrikes her, knocks her out, finishes the fight like she normally would. But if we see an Aldana win, I think it's time for Nunes just to hang it up. Just call it. I'm done. I've done my duties as double champ. I've been the best woman fighter in the history of fighting. This is my last fight. I wouldn't be mad at her for doing that. I personally think that's what she should do because she's just holding up people at this point.
Yeah, but I think that's somewhat selfish for us to say, you know, like, let her get that bag.
Yeah, true. But, she's got the kids. She's married. She's wanting to live life, so I get it. But I think Amanda Nunes, if she could go in there and put on a Nunes performance, if she's at top Nunes, she's gonna win this fight with ease. Okay. But Aldana striking, we'll kind of see how that goes. But overall, though, 289, we'll kind of see this and we'll go from there.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's room for that division with Silva, who just fought on this card.
Exactly.
Retire out until someone comes and dominates as good as you did, then come back and pull one of these John Jones things that we've been seeing. Like, do that. That's fun to watch. We always love a legend returning and winning.
So. 100% agree. So, but overall, 289 this Saturday. I'm ready for this. Oliveira Darush is the main event in my opinion, but we'll see. Overall, we'll see. This fight card might impress us just like the fight night did. So who knows? We'll kind of go from there. But next thing I want to talk to you about, the Ultimate Fighter. It's back, baby. I know last week we had Joe on. We kind of talked to him about his fighting career, and we were able to get to the point where he was an Ultimate Fighter. He was on the Ultimate Fighter, and then we got to watch it after our interview with him that night, episode 1. The vets are dominating, brother.
They're dominating, man, and I want everything that Conor McGregor does. I want him to win. I want him to just turn up on that. I'm here for watching his reaction to every fight. What happens? He's going to get pissed. They showed a glimpse of like future episodes coming where he's actually sparring, like heavy sparring with one of his guys, and he's just dropping him, dude. And he throws a mean left kick and it just drops him. So, I mean, I'm ready for the drama. I hope they feed these guys booze the whole time. I'm ready for some mistakes like that to happen.
Yeah, well, the vet obviously dominated the first fight, and then we get to see in episode 2, the controversy started to happen. Some of the guys in the house were talking a little shit to each other. They were trying to square up with each other in the house. So we're getting to that point. And then obviously, last night we had that vicious, knee to the face, which was impressive. And Michael Chandler is impressing me as a coach for one. I'm really starting to respect him a lot more for what he's doing on there. But I'm excited to see how this kind of plays out, being that we're getting to see vets versus rookies, and we're going to get to see that all season long. So the rookies need to step it up, bro.
I mean, Michael Chandler, if you like had to really think about it, you think he would be a better coach?
He's a great coach.
There's, what he does with his background. Conor McGregor is going to latch on to the leaders in his group and show them this whole winning, positive outlook on life, how you are the fucking shit. But coaching-wise, I mean, there's probably a lot of fighters that are fucking mad their coach is Conor McGregor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, Connor's very involved. He's very get in your face. He wants to be involved in every single thing versus stepping back and kind of taking control over the whole gym. He wants to be in there, which I don't hate that. But Michael Chandler he brought in some great coaches. He's really showing that leadership.
Ryan Bader.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm really excited to see how this season plays out. And I personally think the vets are going to run through the rookies.
Oh, they're going to piece these boys up, dude.
So I think they're going to run through the rookies. But I'm excited, man. We got episode 3 coming on next Tuesday. Another fight. I know we had the one that got canceled. We all know this way too well. He had a little, lip infection, and they canceled the fight, which is why we got the other fight last night. But yeah, next week should be good. We'll kind of see how that plays out.
Definitely, man. I'm excited, man. This is the year of Conor McGregor. We might get a return at the end of the year too. Let's fucking go.
I hope so. I hope we get a December Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler.
New Year's Eve fight, bro. Make it happen.
Oh, that would be wild. I would love that. All right, man. So we got a couple of news to cover. Not much. I know we're a little bit crunched for time, so I don't want to go too wild with it. After this 289 fight, we got 3 fight nights in a row. We got Emmett Topuria, which is going to be a great fight. Vittori Cannonier, going to be a good fight. Then we have Sean Strickland, Magomedov, another good fight. So 3 good main fight nights are going to be all right. And then we get into international fight, which we are all very excited for. And then we have another couple fight nights, and then we get Poirier Gaethje too. So a lot of bangers coming up. I got 2 questions for you before we kind of slow things down and end it. I put a poll up on Discord just to kind of see like what are some things out in the UFC that are issues that people want to see fixed or changed. And one thing that people were saying is early start times. Do you feel like they should take it either down an hour? Do you feel like the start time is correct for the UFC for most pay-per-views, or should they kind of change that up a little bit?
I mean, I personally would like it to be changed a little bit because, if I'm at the house watching it, chilling, it's hard to stay up late. And if I'm out watching it, I'm going to be extremely drunk by 10:30.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would like it to be like at least an hour down, but they're trying to compete with boxing. That's been boxing's thing is the late night fights. And that's what it is cool to watch a fight, the main event at 10:30 when everyone's proper. But I mean, I would like it to go lower. And the athletes would probably prefer that as well, man. You got to understand, these dudes are trying to eat. These are trying to cut. They're trying to get this shit done with.
Well, you got to think, though, most of the fights that happen are in Vegas. So at Vegas, they're starting at 7.
Yeah.
So say we cut it down to 9. They start at 6. They end at midnight. I'm cool with that.
That'd be straight.
So I like taking it down 1 hour. I personally love the fights that are like 3 o'clock when they go to Florida and then they go overseas. We get an early fight. Those are my favorite, but
overseas all day. Those are the best cars anyways.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. So, and then the next question that we got on the Discord is, do you feel like the UFC is pumping out too many fights? Do you feel like they should slow down the fight nights and give us more headliners, or do you feel like you like the fights every weekend? Because me personally, I'm an every weekend guy. I want more fights. I want to fight. I want to see a fight every Saturday night.
I mean, dude, back in the day, man, these guys to get a title shot would have to fight and be on a winning streak for 3 years straight.
Yeah.
2 years. And you had people that missed their prime and never got a title shot, or when they did, they weren't in their prime. And it's just, this is how we build weight classes. This is how we build rankings. I believe this is how we stay active. It's benefits the UFC making all that money. But for someone that's trying to be a no-name and to get a shot, they have a way bigger chance now with all these fights. You want to do like a title run? Good. You can fight every other month and Gilbert Burns this until you get a shot.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting 4 years,
I agree. I like every weekend. I think that, I could see if you're not like a huge UFC watcher and you don't watch fights a lot, I could see why you would want like a lot of like heavy headliners. But, a lot of people don't realize that there's so many people that are up and coming right now that need chances to fight. And their best chance to do it is on fight nights, main cards, like like these prelims of main event, like these prelims or pay-per-views, things like that. Get these guys their chance to get title fights and get in the top 5s as quick as a year, So That's how I see it. I think we're both on the same page on that one. But good questions for both questions. I definitely would love to have some earlier fights, more earlier fights. I would love to have an Atlanta fight if they would ever come back to Atlanta. I know this possibly tomorrow, me and you will be at PFL Atlanta. So that's going to be pretty huge for us. So stay tuned on that. We're probably going to do some live videos, maybe even an Instagram live from the PFL event on over the Octagon channel. So that's going to be pretty huge. So I'm pretty excited about that.
If we get in there, man, we're going to have our little artist VIP passes. So we're going to be with all, the guys who are fighting and all the people who are coming to watch. Last time we were there, we met Diamond Dallas Page, Kenny Florian, Randy Couture, Jermaine Dupree. Like it was awesome. So we're going to get some good stuff. And I feel like it's going to be great for the whole entire podcast in general, man. We're stoked.
Yeah, 100%. And we've got 3 of them coming up. So we're hoping to get to all 3 events. I know this one, me and you are probably going to attend. Then the next one, we're probably going to attend with Hunter and Mitchell, who were on the podcast with us a couple of weeks ago. And then the last one, we're probably going to pump some more promotions out, get out there, try to share the podcast. This whole time, though, we're going to be pumping the word out there, trying to get this podcast pumped up, get everybody kind of tuned in with us, and then hopefully we can make this thing a big thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, man. The future's good for us. And if we see Francis in there, we're talking to him.
Yeah, I'm going to call him a bitch.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, what's up, shawty?
he looks like a shawty.
Dude, I don't know, man. I don't want to roast his dumb ass, but
I mean, I'll knock him out. Whatever.
He's scared
of John Jones.
Absolutely, man.
But other than that, Nasty, I don't really got too much more, man. I know we had a couple of takes that kind of put us behind tonight, which I hate. I wish we had more time to spend, but I know we were already on a crunch time limit. I wish our first couple of takes actually worked out, but overall, I think we covered what we needed to cover. Next week, we got another one we're going to cover. We're going to go back through review 289 again, talk about it, kind of tell us our experience if we get to go to the PFL tomorrow, talk about that experience, talk about more stuff involving our YouTube. This is our second YouTube video. So, we got a lot of good things going for us and a lot more to come. So stay tuned to watch 2 idiots talk about MMA.
Yeah. Hey, we're the best at it too.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Nasty, you got anything before we close it out, brother?
No, man. Like we covered, man. We're gonna be chiming in on the Ultimate Fighter. That's gonna be another thing we'll be doing in every episode. And soon we're gonna do these random episodes here that are gonna be like designated for one fighter, and we can do it from what you guys pick, what you guys want. If you guys have your favorite fighter, we'll cover the whole entire fighter. We'll study his fights for every fight of his career, and we'll make a whole episode about it. That's what we're about here. So.
For sure. I do want to add this too before we get off. So we've made a little bit of minor changes to our schedule a little bit. So now with the Ultimate Fighter being on Tuesday nights, we want to make sure we can cover every episode. So we've switched our podcast now to Wednesdays versus Tuesdays. So we're able to cover that Ultimate Fighter episode on every single podcast up until the finale. And then to be able to, video edit our YouTubes, we're going to be posting our YouTubes on Thursday. But the podcast will still release on Wednesday night. So after we get done tonight, I'll edit it. We'll get the Spotify and everything out for everyone to listen to tomorrow morning. And then if you want to view the YouTube video, that'll be out tomorrow night once I get finished putting the pieces together for the video. So super excited about this episode.
Yeah, we're getting weird on Wednesdays. Workaholic Wednesdays are back.
Workaholic Wednesdays, bro. How could I forget?
Come on.
Weird Wednesdays, baby. I love it. Man, we used to have a fun time on Weird Wednesdays, man. So Flow's house on Wednesdays.
He's gonna be watching this too, so
we would we would turn on Workaholics, have some drinks.
Yeah, next Wednesday I'm actually gonna be my backdrop's gonna be looking like Dirty Bird, so I'm gonna actually be in the booth during it. So
that's gonna be awesome. Hey, and then let's not forget, this is a podcast about MMA, but my boy Nasty's got a song that's coming out here shortly, so we're gonna be promoting that as well. My man's got his music coming out as well, so we're gonna be promoting that. Yeah, you might think it's a little cheesy, but y'all don't know my boy. My boy's been pumping out music for years, so just wait. We're gonna put that. It's gonna be the intro to the podcast when it releases, and then we're gonna promote it on the Instagram as well. So I can't wait for that song to come out, bro.
So here, kitty, kitty.
Here, kitty, kitty, baby. Hey, Nasty, we're gonna always finish like we do with a little bit of Shawn Michaels. And I'll catch you next week, baby.
I'm not your boy, toy.
I know I'm sexy. I've got the
Sexy boy. That's your boy, twat.
I've got the move that really mumble. I said chill.